Hello year ones, welcome back. This is lesson 9. I'm Claire and we're going to talk about numbers and counting, and today we're especially going to look at 10 frames and we're going to look at the magic of 10. So if you have a paper and pen, that would be fantastic, and if you have a dice or counters that you might find in a game, so for example, I took these dice from my good game of Snakes and Ladders, or if you don't have those, you can watch me roll a dice. The other thing that I've done is taken the counters out of a Connect 4 game so I can have counters to use here. The other thing you can use is the Lego blocks, or you could use some shells. Any of these things can go into a 10 frame. Someone I know actually used some pasta. You can see that the pasta can go well into the 10 frame as well. So whatever you can use for your 10 frame, or for counters, we're going to be working with them today. Our learning intention today is the magic of 10, and we're going to use the 10 frame to keep track of our counting. We're going to see the relationships between the numbers from 0 to 10 and even beyond that, and we're going to learn some addition facts, mostly to 10, but maybe some beyond that. If you looked at our previous lessons, you'll know that we've done a lot of work on counting and on numbers. We've been using number charts to look at all the numbers from 1 to 100. We've been counting forwards, we've been counting backwards. We've been able to use random numbers and go on counting from that number and even go back counting from that number. We've also learned to subitize. That's that funny word, subitize. Subitize is when you know how many, just by looking. And that's when you see those dots on the card, on the dice, and on dominoes, and you just know how many there are because you can see the pattern of numbers. We have made Y charts to represent numbers. We have learned how to write the numeral. We have actually drawn how many there are using dots. We've learned about representation of numbers. Some of you may have made your own dot cards. You may have done your own rainbow of facts like my friend Anne likes to do. And so you know those 10 facts and they will come in very useful today. You may be remembering all those number words. You may have written what 10 is, like I did here. Do you remember that was your task after I left you the last lesson? So 10 and 0 is 10, 9 and 1 is 10, 8 and 2 is 10, 7 and 3 is 10, 6 and 4 is 10, 5 and 5 is 10. Sometimes we call this double 5. Remember, we put a special circle around that when we did our rainbow. 4 and 6 is 10, 3 and 7 is 10, 2 and 8 is 10, 1 and 9 is 10. Did you write out your number facts like that? Did you notice anything very interesting? Did you notice that when you go 9 and 1 is 10, it's the backwards way of 1 and 9 is 10. Did you notice that? How about 8 and 2 is 10? Down here we've got 2 and 8 is 10. That's interesting, isn't it? How about this? 7 and 3 is 10. Down here, 3 and 7 is 10. Did you notice that? How about 6? 6 and 4 is 10. And look at that. 4 and 6 is 10. This one was funny because there isn't a matching one, is there? 5 and 5 is 10. But we can also say double 5 is 10. Did you write out your rainbow facts or your number facts or your number bombs? Your teacher may have a different name for that, but really what they are the facts about the numbers within 10. Good work. Some of you may also have been recording the new mathematical names we've been using. I remember last week I showed you that I've been writing them in the back of my book. So here they are here. I haven't added any new ones. I might add a few new ones today. But we've got number, efficient. Remember, we learned how to count efficiently. We did estimates. Mathematicians like to estimate before they count. We talked about the total. That's the number that tells you how many. Subitize. I sometimes call that, I just know it. I just knew how many there were. Locate, that's about finding things. I'm located in the office. And random. They're the mathematical terms that we've been learning, so I have recorded them in the back of my scrapbook. You may have also recorded all of our lessons, or you may be using just pieces of paper. If you record them in a book like me, you can see how we're building up our knowledge of number and counting. Let's review what we know about 10 frames. I'm going to show you a 10 frame and you're going to say how many. Are you ready? I'm going to quickly show it to you. Ready? How many? How many did you see? Shall I show you again? 2. Well done. Okay, let me do the next one. Are you ready? How many did you see? 4. Well done. Yes, there are 4. Good job. How about this one? How many can you see? 3. You said 3? Good job. This one? Oh, that was an easy one, wasn't it? Because there's only 1. Let's try the next one. How many? Did that take you a bit longer? Did you go, I can see 5. I know there are 5 on the bottom row. And 1 more. 5 and 1 more makes 6. Let's try another one. Oh. How many? Did you panic a little bit that time? I thought I heard you panicking because there were a lot of dots, weren't they? But did you have to count them all? No, you knew there were 5 in the top row and 4 more. 5 and 4 make 9. Excellent, 9. Some of you may have been even smarter than that, and you might have think, okay, it's a 10 frame with 1 missing. So 1 less than 10 is 9. Did you find 9, the answer to that one? Let's do a few more. How many? Excellent, I heard that. Some of you went 5 and 2 more, that's 7. And some other people went, okay, it's a 10 frame with 3 empty spaces. So 10 with 3 less is 7. Good job. Some other people went 2 and 2 more is 4 and 3 is 7. But you are doing a good job with your 10 frame. Let's try another one. This is the last one. Oh, very clever. That's right. That is 10. 10, and some people even said that's double 5. There are lots of doubles in this card, aren't there? If I hold it this way, you can see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. If I hold it that way, you can see there's 5 and 5 more makes 10. Have you been making your own subitizing cards? Have you been practicing subitizing with dice and dominoes? Are you getting good at it? You've already found 10 things that you can use as counters in your 10 frame. Now I'm going to ask you to find 2 more. So can you find another 2 things to go in your 10 frame? I have counted and choose to make sure that I have enough things to go in my 10 frame. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 2 more makes 12. Now the reason that I've asked you for 12 is because we're going to be using dice. Do you remember what's the highest number on any die? What's the highest number? That's right, the highest number is 6. The highest number is 6. What's the lowest number on any die? Excellent. The lowest number is 1. Now, these are too small for you to see. These are the ones that I took out of my snakes and ladders. So I'm going to be using my big ones. Now, the big ones here, as you can see, have the subitizing ones in here, but still the biggest number is 6. These have the numerals, and as you can see, the highest number is also 6. The lowest number on both of them is 1. You can see that, 1. Now I'm going to ask you something tricky, because if you get a 6 and a 6. How many does that make? 6 and 6 more. That is very tricky. Let's have a look at it on our number frame, okay? Let's put on 2, 4, and 6. And let's put 2, 4, and 6. Okay, if I want to know what 6 and 6 more is, what can I do? What can I do with my numbers frame? Do you remember the last time? We talked about filling up to 10. So now how many do I have in my number frame? I have 10 and 2 more. How many is that? 12. Fantastic, that's 12 because 6 and 6 more makes 12. And when I have 2 dice and I roll them, the highest number I can get is 6 and the lowest number I can get is, whoops, there they are, 1. But because I've got 2, it's 2. 2. All right, so let's try rolling our dice. You've got dice at home. You can do this at home. You can use Lego blocks, you can use your shells, you can use your pasta, but you can play this game the same as I'm doing today, okay? Now, your dice will be all about sabotaging, but mine we're going to be counting on because I only have the numerals on one and the sabotaging on the other. Okay, so let's roll the dice and represent the numbers on the 10 frame. You ready? Let's do one at a time. Whoop, whoop. 3, it wasn't a big roll, was it? And a 6. That's tricky, isn't it? What's 6 and 3 more? Let me do this by using my 10 frame. I'm putting on 3. And how many more? What was that? It was a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, a 3 and a 6. How many does that make? Can you see it's 2, 4, 6, 8, and one more 9? Or perhaps you saw that it was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Doesn't matter how you go. Maybe you saw it's a 10 frame with 1 space. So 10 with 1 less is 9. Did you do that? Excellent. Should we try another one? Let's try another one. Let's take all my Lego blocks off again and we'll try another one. Let's go. Okay, I'm throwing one at a time. Really should roll them. Do you know that's why I have this mat? In my house, we always roll the dice on the mat so they don't fall on the floor and they don't make too much noise. We just, whoa, look at that, I missed already. Throw them onto the mat and then they stay in one space. So if you've got dice and a mat, you can make sure they stay in one space and you don't have to climb onto the table or onto the chair to find the dice. All right, so let's roll our dice again. I'll do the big ones for you. All right, you ready? Here we go, I'm rolling it. Woo! Oh, what number is that? 2, well done. And this one, oh, look at that. Oh, what's the same about those? I've got a 2 and a 2. What's double 2? What's double 2? Let's put them onto our 10 frame and have a look. So I've got 2 and 2 more. What's that? Did you say 2 and 2 is 4? Or 2 and 2 is 4? Or did you go there's 10 with 6 less? Probably not doing that one. You probably saw there was 4 straight away. Let's do one more. Oh, you ready? Boom, boom, boom. Oh, this time I've got a big number. Look at that. How many is that? Could you sabotage that? That was 6. And what's this one? 6 and 4. Let's try it. We put 2, 4, 6. Anybody got any idea how many it's going to be? 6 and 4 more? 2 and 4. What have I got? Oh, who said double 5? That's really good. 5 and 5 more makes 10. 6 and 4 make 10. 5 and 5 more make 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. A 10 frame is really good for keeping track of your counting. Okay, now that you've made a 10 frame, I'm going to show you something that you can do that's a bit of fun. You take your 10 frame and do like I did, put a dot in every one. So here's my 10 frame with a dot in every one. And I've actually cut a little bit between a few of them, not all of them, just a few, between 1 and 2, and between 9 and 8 and 7 and 6. I've put a line as well, because this is a game that you can play with a friend or another family member, and you could say, okay, how many dots do you see? 10. Excellent. And I'm going to fold one back, and I'm going to ask you, how many dots can you see? 9. Fantastic. But the question is, how many dots can I see? Let me turn this round for you and you can see. Can you see that I can see 1 dot? All right. So let's try that with another number. All right. How many dots can you see? 10. Beautiful. Now I'm going to fold back some, and I'm going to ask you how many I can see. Now, how many can I see? Oh, that was tricky, wasn't it? Did you have to think, well, I can see 5 and 2 more, which is 7. And this is a 10 frame. So 7 and how many makes 10? 7 and 3 makes 10. So Claire must be able to see 3. Did you see that? That's a clever game, isn't it? So it's a bit tricky, but it's a lot of fun. So you make a 10 frame and put a dot in every one, and then you can play this game with your friends or your family. I've actually even made them before with different things. So this one, for example, is made with apples. Can you see that? And you can actually do that with stickers or with a drawing. But the important thing is that they all should be the same, because it's about how many of these things can you see and how many can I see. I made another one with bananas. Bananas are a bit tricky, aren't they? So here are the bananas. But my favorite one is probably the one with the oranges. Here we go. Here's the one with the oranges. So let's try asking, how many can you see and how many can I see? All right. How many can you see? 10, because it's a 10 frame, and I'm showing you the whole lot. How many can I see, though? How many can I see? You're right. I can see 0. I can't see any oranges at all. 0. But you can see 10. Let's try showing it another way. Let's try it this way. Okay, now, how many can you see? Did you sabotage or did you count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or did you just know there was 6? Very good. Now, the tricky thing is, though, how many can I see? You can see 6. How many can I see? Or are you thinking, it's a 10 frame? So 6 and how many more make 10? 6 and how many more make 10? You're right. 4. I could see 4. This is a good game, isn't it? It's how many can I see and how many can you see on a 10 frame. Remembering that the total is always going to be 10, but we can see different amounts of 10. Let me do one more before we finish. How many can you see? You see 8. Well done. Did you sabotage that? Or did you see double 4? 4 and 4 more makes 8. Now, how many can I see? It's a 10 frame. How many more than 8 does it take to get to 10? And you're right. I can see 2. I could see 2. So it's a good 10 frame, isn't it? There's the total is always 10. All right. Very good. So after this lesson, I'd like you to make your own 10 frame, and I'd like you to play how many can you see? How many do I see? You could ask another person to roll a dice and see if you can fill in things on your 10 frame. You might even recognize doubles on your 10 frame. You can use counters from a game. You can use Lego, or you can use pasta or anything else you like to go on your 10 frame. Have a go rolling the dice and seeing filling up your 10 frame. Don't forget, if you're rolling dice, because the highest number is 6 and double 6 is, you knew that, 12. Double 6 is 12, so you might need 2 10 frames when you get to the highest numbers. Excellent. I will see you next time. Bye.